Hey guys, thanks for coming by to check out Custom Time Axis. It is essentially an indicator for the Metatrader or MT4 trading charting platform that allows us to now see whatever time we desire printed out across the lower or horizontal X time axis in the platform itself. Now this picture you're seeing here, actually you might be kind of pinching yourself saying, am I looking at what it looks like I am? That this is actually in place of the Metatrader native time axis? Absolutely, that's what you're looking at. I'm going to get into that in more depth for you here now. So basically, with a simple drag and drop of the indicator onto your chart, it will do exactly what you saw there. You throw it on a chart, you start out with your native axis right there showing on the left, and bada bing, there you go, you have custom time axis showing up. And you're also seeing the time in AM, PM, or normal market hour type format. In addition to that, yeah, you see the month, day in a separate color there, excuse me, and a little more space between. So we're not as crammed up having to see the month, right, every single time we see the time plot. So it's a little more spacious, a little less, cluttered on the chart, and again, it applies easily and seamlessly to your chart. Now this CTA, Custom Time Axis, is actually the successor to the previous version, which was called Local Time Axis. This is the upgrader version 2. Those that have Local Time Axis actually get this one for free, just as those who get Custom Time Axis will get for any future modifications. So what I've done over the last year and a half roughly since LTA has been out there, I've been fielding a lot of great input from people all over the world, and what I've done is incorporated all those changes and modifications into CTA, as well as some of my own stuff that I was kind of looking forward to. So what I wanted to do now is just run through the indicator as quickly as I can for you and show you each of these features. Now what I'm going to do is start out with just showing you kind of the indicator in all its glory, but very simply without a whole bunch of bold type splattered all over the chart, right? So what you're looking at here is, yep, you're seeing, no fanfare or build up there, but basically you are seeing as well market plots or global market session plots on the chart as well. That comes with the indicator. Now, of course, you can turn it on or off. Like I say, it's completely customizable, and so it goes for everything you see in the indicator, including the font size of the actual times you're seeing there, the colors. You're also seeing a bar candle timer, countdown timer there. That can be positioned in 2 locations as well. So let's just go through here, and I'll start to now kind of run you through what the indicator consists of. Now, you also, what I'm going to do here, I'm basically going to start with a stripped down version, and I've created a template which basically has all the settings so that they mimic precisely the native axis format. And so that's why you look like you might be feeling like you're seeing double there. Well, I did that intentionally because I wanted to show you if you're really comfortable and you like the format of the native axis, you can do that. And with the difference being, now you can set whatever time to show up there as you like, because a lot of us are totally content with that look and feel of the native axis. We just wish we could see our own local time or whatever time you want. Well, now we can do that. So first thing I'm going to do is, like I said, I just want to show it to you that they are identical, but let's lose now the native axis. And now it doesn't go in and literally tweak or do anything to the actual trading platform, so you don't have to worry about it compromising any of the functionality there, but it sure looks like it's a built-in part of the native platform, doesn't it? It's actually, again, I'm really proud of that. I really love that because it doesn't take up any more space now on your chart like LTA did. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes you have to just toggle a little bit on the first shot to get that to kick in. So that's what we're looking at right now. That's CTA, not Metatrader time axis showing up right there at the bottom. Now we are on a 5-minute chart, right? And now we're still looking at the broker time. So what if we want to now do like what I said? We just want to see our local time, piece of cake. And one other thing you've already noticed, I'm showing it in military time. What if you want to just see it in regular or AM PM time? All you have to do is just switch that, toggle it over to AM PM, and let's sync it to our local time. And now what you're seeing is the time out here on the West Coast in the United States, 12:30, 12 or whatever. Like I said, it's 5 minutes. But let's go on a 1 minute bar so we don't have to deal with that little discrepancy. Okay, so it is now 12:49 a.m. and just to show you again, maybe you do want to see the actual broker time simultaneous. You can do that. So there you go. So there's both, and I'm using FXCM. So you're seeing the FXCM broker time right there, which reflects whatever offset they reflect. Or have their platform defaulted to, and my local time in AM PM. But now let's start to again get in there and start to really tweak this a little bit more. So let's go ahead and lose again the broker platform, and I wanted to show you really quickly here. Here's the offsets. You can change these offsets to the minute, which means a lot of you that live in places that have offsets of 30 minutes off of standard trading, off of time zones. There are some, I believe, in Australia and maybe a few other places even, and I've had requests over the last year and a half for that, so I put that in the indicator. You now can set that for a 30-minute differential in any variation thereof down to the minute. Maybe you trade in a fashion where you'd like to see the time axis and be able to get in there and modify it to the minute. You can now do that. Okay. Now, the month, I've noticed, and I've also had requests for, you don't need to see it every single time you see a time plot, right? So you can change that. Just plot it once per day, and that's exactly what will happen. I'll plot in the bottom lower left corner once a day. If you have any doubt what month it is, just check over down there on the left side and you'll see it. Now, because this happens to be a switch from August to September right now, that's why you're seeing the month twice in what might appear to be one day, even though this is just a 1 minute chart, because it was midnight not too long ago. So that's why we're seeing right there our month stated twice on our chart. And of course, if you want to put like a 4-hour chart, you're going to see the month a number of different times, right? All the way back to the 12th of August. So that's pretty common sense. But you can eliminate that if you want, like I just did. Now, if you want to get rid of the month altogether, there's a little perky, little hack, as it were. You actually can change the month color to a real dark color. You can't quite go black because the way we have it programmed, it kicks into a different default mechanism in the Metatrader architecture where it basically doesn't disappear. So you go real dark, and we've actually gotten rid of the month now, as you can see. But I don't want to spend too much time on that. I just want to show you there's a lot of things you can do to literally customize this however you like it. Okay, so let's move ahead. Of course, you can change the font. Now, some of you guys out there and gals might be tired of squinting at your charts. No problem. Now you can set that font size for any size you want. Again, another thing that is on CTA that we didn't have on LTA, the local time axis, I think I mentioned, that was the predecessor indicator. You had to get in there and modify and do a lot of this tweaking by hand, so to speak, and change the parameters depending upon what bar compression you were on or time frame. All of this is done automatically and seamlessly now. It doesn't matter what time frame you're switching. I'm all the way up to 4-hour, hourly. Now, of course, daily you're not going to, right? You don't need a time plot for that. But every other compression, it's going to automatically go to the optimal spacing, whatever the size of your font is. Now, you may want to distinguish the month nonetheless from your main font. No problem. You can change the font color of the month. So let's go with that kind of like an off gold orange color. There you go. You see the 31st is jumping out. Now, let's just get back to the more of a less, I should say, extreme font size. I think the native font is 7. Let's just go 8 and get that back reduced in size for you. Okay, now let's start to do a few more items here. I'm trying to move it along, trying my best. Um, bar font size, all that. Now, here's the part that you saw in the beginning. Let's say you do want to see your market sessions. Piece of cake. You just hit the true, and it automatically throws them up on the chart there. Again, no matter what time frame you're looking at, it'll adapt. Now, you can go in and modify these, set them however you like from top to bottom so that they're staggered, so that they come in slowly, however you want to. In other words, you might want left to right, top to bottom. I have them sort of staggered here, which might look a little odd to you, but you might want to set them up as sort of like a stair step, I guess is what I'm saying. You can do all that. Now, the indicator comes with 6 templates actually, so depending upon what major area you might be in around the world, all you have to do is go in and apply the template for that area, whether it's London, whether it's Europe, Australia, or Tokyo, or New York, or the west coast of the United States. And then you might only have to tweak it 1 hour or 2 hours either way from there. So you can do all that right here. Of course, you can change the color. And you can also change the thickness. You might like to see those bars really bold, kind of in your face right there, no problem. You just can modify that thickness. You can also change the space in between. You can even have these bars come up further up on the chart if you want, and you can get rid of the vertical line if you want. And the reason that comes in handy, and made sure we put that in there, is because you may like these bars to be very, very, very subtle, but you don't want to miss the beginning of a new session, right? So there you go. They're very subtle, very tiny, and as you notice, they're in the main charting window. I did that intentionally because didn't want to have to use up a indicator pane for that indicator. As again, we had with LTA, we had to sacrifice a pane, which was kind of a pain. I know you were waiting for that. Okay, so another thing you might have noticed, I'm sizing this. I might have mentioned this already, but you don't have to manually drag this to size it. All you have to do is double click in there and it'll all go to the optimal spacing automatically for you. Okay, personally I like these sessions just a little bit thicker, so I'm going to go back and put those back to that. Let's say 3. Now here's all your sessions. Of course you can change the color. All your times are in military time, but they're relative to your local time. So if you're already up to speed with what all the different world trading sessions are related to your local time, piece of cake. You just go in there and put them in. Now these are, again, military, so you don't have to jump through too many hoops on that. But again, all you have to do is apply the template and they all show up. But you can change colors and everything you want. And now I glossed over something a little bit earlier here, in case you noticed and were wondering about that. So I'm going to go back. You can change the color of the background as well. So right now it's black, right? It's white and gold on black. Well, let's say you want that time axis to pop just a little bit more. No problem. Let's make it a dark blue. So there you go. And you might say, okay, yeah, that's cute. Nice little bell you put on there and a whistle. But why would I want to do that? Well, some of you guys might like to see multiple applications, multiple instances of custom time axis on your chart. And so if you do that, this way you can distinguish them from each other. And why would you do that? Well, maybe you want to see each different session around the world. Or maybe you're living in the U.S. and you trade the European session, but you want to see the time as it would look to a European local, let's say. And you want to relate this to the open of their market, which is probably 8 a.m. like it is in the U.S. in London, which it is. Well, so you could do that. You can just simply offset that 8 hours. I'm not going to, well, I could do it, but I don't want to do it right now, but you get the idea. You could offset it 8 hours and then go in there and change the background color for that additional instance that you're placing on your chart. So I just want to show you how they distinguish themselves from each other. And again, all you have to do is double click that, spaces automatically. So now you're looking at 2 different world sessions, let's say, and it gets kind of fun when you get in there and compare and tweak and see what you can do with the hours. And so and you can put as many sessions as you want. You might want to go on steroids, time steroids here, and put 5, 6, 7 sessions. Now you also might be looking and saying, well, there's a big space between the market sessions here. Well, that's because that one is relative to the upper CTA. So to make it, again, more condensed down where it belongs, no problem. You just turn it off for the upper indicator. So we're going to say false. And then on the lower indicator, which is our second instance, you're going to basically say true. Now all this is explained in the manual, and so you're going to be able to really drill down. Now if you're at the website, notice I would just move back down there so it's much more compact again. Now if you're on the website, there's a couple videos to the left and the right of the main video where I do drill down a lot more into some of these capabilities, but I didn't want to bog down the main video with all of that. So that's pretty much covers all of the main features. I think I've covered everything. Any questions, just feel free to put them in the down below the video if you're on YouTube or one of the other hosting companies out there. So I'm not going to get into the bottom stuff here, GMT. That of course is relevant, but it's all automatic. You don't even need to get into that, but there's a purpose for it. Again, it's all explained in the manual. So that is the indicator in its bare essence. So again, for a quick review, so what do? We plot your local time. We do it automatically upon installation. It does it in place of the broker time if you so desire. Shows the time in both AM, PM, or military time. It offsets, whether you want to offset from the broker or from your local time, down to the minute. So of course you could do 30-minute offsets. It displays global trading sessions as horizontal bars as well as the optional vertical lines, and you can of course totally customize everything that has to do with that or make them go away altogether. Has a built-in bar timer, dual position. You can reduce the clutter by only showing the month once per day. You can customize totally the font or the background both in the bar timer as well as the time, and do this independent of each other as far as the month and the day as far as the color goes. You can apply many instances on the same chart so that you can reference many global sessions. You can customize the placement to other indicators. It'll work on range bars, Rankos, and tick charts. I didn't want to get into that in this video. It's a little exotic, but it requires, the pre-processed sort of charts, offline charts being used, but it'll work on those. And last but not least, it's very lightweight. You can limit the number of days back that it'll plot, even though it'll plot as many as you have in your chart history. You can limit it to literally down to 1 day, so you can run it on a heap of charts on your computer, and it won't even cause it to break a sweat. Okay, to check out those other videos that go a little deeper in some of the features of CTA, or to get a little more information, or to purchase, you can go to MT4TimeAxis.com. It's www.mt4TimeAxis.com.